Okay, so yesterday we did our resurrection mechanic. So today we're going to bug fix that a bit because it works, but there's a few random errors popping up here and there. So I'm just going to see if I can figure out what's causing those. So we need to put on our detective hats and our engineer hats and see what's up. And do some debug.logs and yeah, it's one of the more difficult things to do in game development because yeah, I don't know why it's not quite working. If I did, then it would be working. So the res mechanic is working as intended. Could do with some nicer visual, but it works. Okay, let's go with better soldiers. So I mean, so far working smooth. Seems that everything is working fine. I'm hoping there was a null reference exception, which will need some cleaning up. There were also some performance issues, as in the way I've programmed it, if there's performance issues like the targeting slows down rather than the game stuttering. So I'm hoping that the performance issues, what appear to be performance issues, are actually just a leftover of that. Yeah, already I can see, like, do you see it just like they keep swinging at the air a little bit after they've killed the target? It just means they haven't quite updated their target. Oh, is it because, see, like it should be... I got rid of a couple exceptions saying if target dot is active. So I mean, I definitely want to do that on the weapon. Okay, this is the old chain lightning code or chain attack code, which I kept around just in case there were big bugs with the new one. I think it's time to delete that. Clean up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, we want to ask if the game object is active. But we shouldn't have to do that. So when we find a new target, we say game. Okay, yes, we don't have any of that here. This is the code. This is the big one. This is the one that's like difficult. This code is the reason that this game doesn't already exist, because it's one thing to have 1,000 enemies all target the player and move towards them. It's another thing entirely for those thousands of units to have to potentially target each other. It means that they have to check around them. So we do for each character in the game. Right, target dot is dead. Huh. Dead equals false. Yeah, this should happen. Is that really the only times of play spawn animation? They're not dead once the spawn animation plays. Is that the issue? We play the spawn animation on spawn, but that means that yeah, so I think we say is dead. And then where do we add? Yeah, we add to the team somewhere else. Okay, well, let's just see. So far, we haven't had too many problems. I'm going to go weapon container and go target is not equal to null. If target, should we do a target is active? I mean, it shouldn't be ever attacking a target that's not active. No, like I shouldn't do that because they get inactive and inactive when they're added and removed from a list. So while that would be like an easy fix, I mean, everything seems to be operating properly. The only thing is I have quite a lot of units on the screen. Okay, and then we've got this debug happening, which is target update timeout. This means that this script, the update all targets, has taken too long. That's what that means. And therefore it's just reset. But that should not be happening this early in the game. So that's what I mean by, so something's gone wrong here. So we do this lovely spaghetti. If attack type is resurrect, else if it's sacrifice, else, and that shouldn't be like eating up the time. So I need to figure out why is this taking longer now. It could just be that something else is making the frame take longer. Like something else is eating up time. And we have update characters, which again, like this just updates all the characters in a loop and doesn't try to do it faster than the computer can handle it, basically. But if it takes more than 3 seconds, that means that something's gone wrong, basically. So we ask if the target is active and is not dead. But I don't think we need to do that. I don't think we need to do that. Because it should only be on the target list. Like when something dies, or is spawned, like when it dies, it's removed from the target list. So we shouldn't have to do that. And this that I've just done shouldn't be adding too much. Let's just tidy this a bit. And I'll do if weapon.names.count is equal to 0, return. So like, oh wait, no, there's a reason it's like this. It's because if it returns, then it will stop this loop and then it won't continue. So that's the continue thing, right? That just means leave this loop and then move on. What does continue actually mean? I haven't actually seen it much. Continue. What does it mean? I'll look that up. In Unity C#, what does continue mean? It continues with the next iteration in the loop. So it will just ignore this and move on. Whereas if I return, it will leave the loop. Okay, yeah. So I want to do something like that. So like something like that is actually good. But for weapons, so if weapon is equal to null, continue. If weapon dot names dot count is equal to 0. This is just some weird thing that like it's just me not understanding mono behaviors properly, but like for some reason if someone has a null weapon, sometimes it's just read as a weapon with no names, right? Okay. Thank you, darling. Morning. Okay, so it seems like the weapons, so like even though it shouldn't be attacking someone who's not on the list, so on death, when someone dies, at some point team.remove or team0.remove. Okay, so we don't need to do this if thing, we can just say team.remove this. And then we can say team equals, well then, null? No. So remove me from my team, and now my team is, I think we just don't need to touch that. Okay. I'm just really curious as to what's slowing us down. Is it even that script? Is it even anything to do with update targets? So what I'm looking out for is characters to be like attacking things that... What I could do just to test things is... I mean, rather than, so update all targets. Let's get rid of these. So we do a yield return null every time we've given a character, given a weapon an update, and another one when we've given a character an update, yeah. And I guess what I can do is, so yeah, let's go to focused, and then I want to see the teams like dynamically updating. Look, GM, give my messy code. Team, yeah, here we go. All right, well this immediately looks wrong because there seems to be way more characters in that team than there actually are. right? The Goblin team seems about right. And why is it freaking out? Why is the performance tanked? So that'll just be like Unity stuff that's not actually... it's probably because it's still like loading in all of these assets. Oh dear. Okay, but that's great. I found a clue. I found an important thing that could have been causing this. So yeah, I'm going to monitor that team list. Because it seems that like characters, for whatever reason, are just not being removed from that list. Let's go have a look. There we are. Team 0, Team 1. So yeah, we got me and Soldier. Oh, really? What is going on now? I didn't even... I haven't done this yet. I haven't saved that. Why is... What's going on? Seems to be running slow even if I'm not playing the game. So is it just by having this open? Is it because it's loading this mammoth list? It's like populating it. Shouldn't take that long though. What's going on? But yeah, it's a bit stuttery. Why is this just the first? Like I haven't actually encountered this before. I've never had an issue where I've like just by viewing my GM that I'm getting issues. Wow. Never seen this before. Never been this bad before when there's nothing happening. Really? What is doing that? Okay, I'm gonna, just for my peace of mind, I'm not gonna select GM. Why is selecting GM causing so much issues? Just for my peace of mind, I'm just gonna not press anything. I'm just gonna let the game run and see if it does that again. No, it doesn't do that again. So that's just Unity being weird. I mean, I'm not saying it's because Unity's bad. It's just... Okay, and then if I select GM, suddenly we just get performance tanking. And straight away, I'm noticing that, yeah, I don't think characters are being removed from my team when they die. But it's really difficult to tell because when I select GM while the game is running, it shits the bed. I have no idea. I've never seen that before. I have no idea why that's happening. That's really, really, really weird. What if I select another object while the game's running? Let me close Profiler because that tends to cost a bit. Okay, what if yeah, like, what if I just select? It could be that I've got too much on that object. If I select Event System. It's a little bit, it's definitely markedly slower. What if I select Options Canvas? Okay, what if I select GM now? Absolutely shits the bed. Alright, interesting. But yeah, I'm fairly certain that for whatever reason, Like, I don't think we even have that many units on the board. So everyone seems to be getting added to Team 0. So, I think I know what's happening as well. So, Team 0 dot add player. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So I think I remember. I think I know the mistake I made. So we have team dot add. And then, okay, on spawn team. So when are they getting added to a team? When it's spawned. Okay, yeah, that one's working as intended. Yeah, that's correct. And so we made a team which was... So yeah, I can't find the problem there. It's not quite what I thought it was, but we have this list called dead list. And have I like accidentally set dead list to be... It's just really annoying that I can't like just see I can't just see I can't just look at GM list while I'm playing because it causes the game to tank. It's just really bloody annoying now. I don't understand why that's the case. Could be fixed with like a reset maybe. But yeah, the game just absolutely shits the bed just because I've selected this. Okay, so we got 4 guys. Okay, we got 5 guys. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, what happened here? What happened here? Okay. So we've added... So I think it's some really stupid mistake in my code over here. When I revived something, it just added a whole bunch of characters to... so raise dead. So I raise undead, putting toaster in the toaster. So... corpse. So why did it add why did it like do that? Why did it add more than that to the team? So let's just get rid of that and see and yeah, let's find raise undead. So this is on the weapon container. It should only be happening once. Like that shouldn't be It's not like that happened a bunch of times. And also, again, I can only see one character has joined, one goblin has joined my army. But it seems like it's done it for each... So then let's have a quick look at this one. And yeah, if weapon.attack type is resurrect, and then we make that our target in dead list. So it seems like it's like done it to everyone in the dead list, but only revived one of them? That's just so bizarre. So bizarre. Okay, yeah. That's intended. I'm so annoyed by this thing that is just slowing the game down just because I'm selecting GM. Like, there's no reason that should be happening. Okay. So incredibly bizarre. And I'm so annoyed by this weird... Why can't I, like, so I'm going to look that up, because Gemini is so much better than Google searches used to be. So, why does my Unity game slow down when I select an object in the scene? Yeah, so slow down when always caused by inspector overhead or scene view rendering. This one in discussions. Yeah, no idea. Right, okay. Let's just live with it. Apparently because it's a complex object, which is fair. That's very true. It does probably have too much on its shoulders. I could change that. I could make it that it has less on its shoulders by like splitting it up. But goddamn, that's going to be... that's a whole job in itself. The first thing I want to see is, does this revive script just get called? Okay, raising undead just happened 4 times in a row. Why? Why did that happen 4 times in a row? Let's see how many times in a row it happens next time. Okay, so why is that happening? Very odd. Okay. Extremely odd. Why on earth is this happening more than once? So it's just going off a weapon container, which just has the exact same logic as another one. So we point weapon at target. We check the distance. We point the weapon at the target. Is it this physics overlaps collider? Oh, I think it could be... So I think I just need to do one of these. Okay. How do I empty an array? Because I'm good with lists. If it was a list, I'd just go hit so clear. But how do I clear an array in C#? Oh, is it just with the lowercase? Or do I have to go array dot? Because overlap sphere gives us like that open closed brackets thing, right? Usually I would use a list, but overlap sphere wants to use this thing. Is it actually better just to use, because I wanted to I wanted to like reuse one that we already had at the top, but maybe, yeah, so okay. Do I have, so I would need, yeah, so it would be, I need to use using system. And then I say hits, and then that can stay the same, and then I go array.clear hits. Like that. No? What do you mean index and length? Just clear it. Okay, no, we're just going to make a new list every time. It's probably cheaper than this nonsense. Because I can only assume that that's what's happening. Okay, and where's the error now? Huh? Bloody magic unity. Right. I think that was the issue, because it's doing it to that array, and that array is not resetting. You would think that, yeah, I'm gonna assume that's the problem. Let's see if we still get the same issues. So we'll know that it's, yeah. I mean, it still doesn't quite make sense to me, but let's see. So something dies. I revive. Why is that happening 4 times? Why is that happening 4 times? I really don't know why that's happening 4 times. Have we found 4 things in the overlap sphere? But why? And it seems funny that it's consistently 4 when I certainly only have 1. Like, is that because it's catching? Is that? But then why is it not like reviving them? Okay, hit found. And it's 5 this time. Okay, so it is just finding more in the sphere. Okay, so for each collider hit and hits. So this AoE is actually rather large. Okay, what I would want to do is like make the AoE effect but without any AoE effect on it. So like create the visual effect. That's going to be a heap of work. Can I do like a draw gizmo? That's a bit complicated. Okay, so what we're doing is we're attempting to revive. We're attempting to revive a bunch of things that weren't even dead, basically, and we're adding them to the team. So we're doing this. So we need to make sure we're only doing this to something that is dead. If dead list dot contains corpse. Well, if dead list doesn't contain corpse, then return. Okay, that's going to fix it. That is going to fix it. We have found the problem. And we have fixed it. Let's test it. Yeah, I guess it makes sense, but then I feel like the res is quite big. So that time it only found 1. Oh, it found 4 hits, but it only revived 1 person. You'd think it would be finding more. You'd think it would be like that, like because of the AoE of my attack, of my revive, that more units would be getting revived, right? That would be my thinking. That would make sense to me. Like, we're finding quite a lot of units. I mean, yeah, maybe that is happening and I just haven't really noticed. I think it is going to be time to, before I like really plow on and add more content, I think I do need to do this fix where I optimize the AoE effects, basically, so that when we do an AoE effect, we don't... I see, yeah, they're still like attacking the floor, but we're not getting that timeout, not yet anyway. I think I should do on the weapons. So don't do it if target is not equal null. If target dot is the game object that is active self is equal to true. So don't attack things that are dead. Don't attack things that aren't there, because it just looks funny. But this should... Okay, let me do a quick check. So we shouldn't have tons and tons of characters. Yeah, we've only got... Just deselect. There we go. Target update timer happened, but that's because I was in... It's because I was tanking the performance with my... For daring to select something. Okay, but that's weird. That is so this is odd to me. So what's odd to me is we are obviously working with quite a big AoE. Why? Oh, I know what's happening. Because these colliders are off. These colliders are off. That's what's happening. So this is basically doing nothing. It's doing it to the target. Hit. Yeah, it's doing it to the target, and also there's nothing to do for each collider hit and hit. We're reviving that target. So I'm just really bad at coding. Basically, that's the answer to this. Raise dead hit dot get component character. Right. Okay, but because all the colliders are off, so that's kind of like the real problem of actually trying to raise the dead. It's like, how do you grab something that is not there, that has no physical form? So what this is going to do is this is going to revive no one, because the collider requires. So I need to do... So while this is going to be what I use for... So no, okay. So we don't even want to use this here. So raise undead. But we can't use a physics overlap sphere, and we can't use... because the collider is off. So it's not going to find anything. So... So maybe I'll put that in here, and it's like for each... No, we'll have to put it here. And we'll say for each... So this is a bit expensive, I think, but you know, it's just for revives. For each character in gm.deadlist, if character dot distance dot so if vector3 dot distance is less vector3 dot distance between character dot transform and me, then is less than weapon dot AoE times character, capital C. Okay, is this the problem? Character C. Dot. Character should be like wielder. Dot. AOE X. Just bracket that out. What's the problem here? Oh, because we need a vector 3, not a transform. Dot position. Transform dot position. So then yeah. So we have to do like a manual like check every character who is dead, and like unless we kind of kept a remnant, like if every character when they die they still had a little trigger corpse, but that feels like more complicated. It might be better optimized, but for this, for each character in dead list, if they're within the range of the one that we've targeted, target capital C T target, if they're in, then revive them. And I'm worried that going through each character in dead list is going to be expensive for every time we revive. I'm thinking that's going to be a real problem if we have a necromancer in the army. That could be expensive. But we can't really do a sphere collider because there's no collider. They're dead. Like their collider is off. They're inactive as an object. So the alternative would be to just have a so I'll just do a bit of research then. So in cheap way in Unity C# to get objects of a type with it. So like, is there a cheap way to do a sphere? What's it called? Sphere raycast, sphere cast. What was it called? Let me. I'm just gonna have to. I'm not the sharpest tool in the drawer all the time. What do we call it? Overlap sphere. A cheap way to do an overlap sphere without colliders. Okay, yeah, there isn't a like easy or a good way. So I don't need my headphones. I'll probably need them in a second, but yeah, there isn't like a particularly good way to do that. So this will have to do, and I don't think it's going to be too expensive. We'll see if it tanks the system. Yeah, we'll see. We could make Resurrect a... Should we? Let's go ahead and do that. Let's make so IE numerator resurrect. And then we'll just do a yield return null. What's the problem? Is it because I'm missing some thing at the top? What am I missing that makes an IE numerator? No, it doesn't. I need like using system. No, what is it that I need to do an IE numerator? Can it not just tell me? System.collections. It's one of these. There we go. Yes, using system.collections. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. So this means that when we do this, it just won't tank the game, because it won't be like, get me all the characters who have died. It will do it in good time. It will do it when it needs to. Okay. Oh. And then I'm probably going to want to reduce the AoE by default, because that's probably way too many. Way too wide, given how many characters it was catching. So let's just do that quickly. Yeah, AoE should be like 2, 2.2, 2.4, 2.6, similar to heal. And then the advanced one should be like, oh, that's where it's a very high range. So let's go like 4, 4.4, 4.8, 5.2, and we'll have lots of fun balancing that bit by bit as we play the game. But for now, let's see how this goes. So we should be like reviving a whole bunch of dudes every time we revive. Why is he not doing it? Oh, because because I'm a very clever man right here. Because it won't do anything to an inactive target. Be cool if, like, I mean, I don't know if they should leave some kind of corpse remnant if you're playing as an undead. It seems a bit weird. Like, so version A is how we have it now. Version B is, do we have a corpse appear wherever something died? Oh. Ah, okay. Oh, for God's sake, I hate this. I hate this. So... and raise... yeah, because it leaves the dead list. Void raise list. So yeah, we need a new list. And so bloody annoying. But yeah, I guess it makes sense. That's all saved now. Yeah. Okay. Oh God! So yesterday when I signed off, I was like, I have no idea where these mistakes are happening. This is very confusing to me, and it's going to be very depressing because I have no idea how to fix it. But it seems that I've figured, and I was like, why is the performance tanking? Like, why is it taking so long to find a new target just because I've added this feature? And, oh. But you haven't. But the collection, is that right? Collection hasn't been modified. No, we haven't modified the collection. We haven't modified the collection. There's no way we've modified the collection. Oh yeah, there's a chance because this is taking time. The collection gets modified. So we have to do one of these ones, which makes sense, but it still feels a bit like black magic to me. So update all. And we do this. We do one of these. Which means we'll occasionally miss some, but like it just generally isn't a problem. So then where were we? Yeah, because that shouldn't, because we haven't modified this list, but it could have been modified outside of this list. So we do one of these. We say. And this black magic, what this does is it means we're not actually going through each in the list. We're going through like based on a number. And so then we wouldn't actually need this anymore. Do differently then? Why did I change that bit? Okay, yeah, I'm just being silly. Yep, this is correct. And then we go gm.deadlist like that. So this kind of goes through a list based on an index rather than actually going through each thing in the list. And it should functionally be the same. It's just like if something was removed from the dead list and it was like at the end of it. And like we basically didn't make it through all of them. that could cause like slight inaccuracies. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. So the AoE is chunky. So we could actually afford to have a bit less AoE. So like, yeah, it's a bit OP at the moment. But that's fine. Oh. So they're disappearing just because they have like a decay speed that's quite slow. But it is quite jarring just to watch your guys disappear. But this is cool. I love this mechanic. Like, but yeah, we need to have a couple things. So return to pool. So what we have is return to pool after. And then what happens is when the timer runs out, we just return to pool. Right? We just disappear. And if that's... And like players never notice it, or I never notice it anyway. But if we've got undead characters that like have a much shorter timer on this, we are going to notice it. So what I would like is to give that an animation. So yeah, so give it animate, just so it's clear to the player what's happening. Like if your undead character could like crumble, like we need an animation to show why your undead has fallen apart. I also have an idea as to how. So return to pool is pretty brutal. We kind of don't want the player to notice it. It's just like, if you have a mage that lasts for the full 180 seconds, that means that your army is pretty big. And you're not going to notice him disappearing. And he's probably been replaced by then. But what I could do is, see, we have this buff. And I think this is going to be smarter. So when we revive, so raise undead, and we do this RTPA timer, which I'm just going to get rid of. Let's not mess with that. But what we are going to do is say that this is not a permanent buff, but that it lasts for, what was it? 30 times strength. That's how long you have the buff for. And if you have this debuff of undead, when you die, so remove buff, this undead debuff, then one thing we want to do is play crumble animation, return to pool. Right? And that should count as should that count as dying for the sake of vengeful artifacts? We'll see about that. Okay, so I'll just make a little crumble. Okay, crumble. What will crumble do? It will. So we need to play the animation. How have we done that in the past? I think we just like, this is going to be awkward because it's going to be a bunch of shit that we're going to have to like reset, but it's like I guess I think we'll just turn them off. So yeah, they actually switch off immediately, so we might not need a coroutine, but we're going to instantiate like a crumble effect. So let me just go ahead and animate that, and it's gonna be just like an effect. So the character will immediately return to the pool, and they'll leave in their wake a human beings undead. They'll leave in their wake like an animation, which will make it. And this animation, I'm not going to do one for each character, but what I'm going to do is, so let's very carefully save this. Sprites, effects, yeah, sprites, effects. Oh, that shouldn't be there. Yeah, magic. Let's just put it in magic effects for now, and we'll call this crumble. We'll just call it crumble. Okay, so this is not the human thing anymore, so I can go ahead and delete basically all of these. Probably a better way. Can I? No, I can't select multiple. Okay. Don't need the hat. But can I make this like a more, like, so straight away, like, so won't this be confused with other skeletons? No, I'm just going to get straight to the crumble animation. So I'm talking like, so yeah, we'll like break it up. We'll break it up to the point of like no recognition. So like straight away, just move it down a bit. I'm just gonna have an old one with some onion skin, so I can kind of just get a read on what a whole one looks like. So it's already come down a bit, but the top hasn't. Oh, that's going to be hard to look at. Okay, let's just turn this off for now. And yeah, like the animation is going to be quick, like 3 or 4 frames, but like the last few frames can be a bit longer. And is this really what I want? Do I want a soul escaping? No, I think I just like a crumble. I saw it in my mind's eye. So yeah, let's just do what I saw in my mind's eye. Let me just like break it up. and like really like mash it up. But just so that you've just got some semblance of the original like bean shape. And we're just really like smashing this thing apart. And going like really just and then like and let's really just, so yeah, we've got the break, we can smooth that out a bit. We've got the break, and then we've got like the full and then we've got the like absolute decimation, absolute crumbled to the ground. Yeah, we're still the right height, so boom, boom. We can. So yeah, it's a bit of sideways motion, and then it comes tumbling down, and then like really just pulverized into dust. So like just actually delete it, and then get some, just get these colors. We'll do white. We'll do this gray. Oh, it's actually going to be easier just to do this again. Some specks of black in there. And then we just kind of want to like raise that up a bit so it's like the dust sort of comes to the side, yeah. So we'll just kind of expand this. Oh, just forget to make a new one, right? Yeah, so this has kind of come up a little bit. The dust has kind of come out. And then we kind of fill in these gaps a little bit. So we'll do some white. Do some grey. Do a tiny bit of black. And then we'll just kind of like expand it, but actually start to, let's do this. Expand it, but actually start to delete it. And let's take a fairly wide one of these and just and one more. We really put it to the edge. really just get rid of most of them. This should be gone in all cases. I don't think we need this little black line here. So you see, like, we very quickly replace the thing. So this can just, the problem with this is you can kind of see how I've done it. But if we just get in a few of these with the small brush, just try and just get rid of these obvious seams, these obvious cuts that I've put in that you can see. And so this doesn't resemble any one skeleton. This could be an orc skeleton, this could be a human skeleton, never mind the hat. And then the next stage is like sort of ruin, yeah, so we'll do like double brush, kind of just really kind of try and make it look a bit more organic and get a bit more of this color in, just to sort of and then I think we'll just redo this one. Really like flat and pulverized, like it is basically broken, but we've got a slightly kind of organic shape at the top there. And then we'll sort of make a start on the dust. So we'll do a bit more of like didn't expect to be doing animation today, but I just feel like this is just needed. Like you kind of do things as you see them. And that looks kind of pretty. It looks like a skull crushing and melting. And I think that'll do for now. So let's export that. And so we need to make a game object. So yeah, sprites, magic effects, crumble. Did I not save it in crumble? Did I save it somewhere else? And we want to keep the so what is it, 72 by 96, yeah, with pivot custom 0.5, and then I'll just so 0.167. Yeah, that'll do. Except I need to do it again without that. Okay. And then it's a very simple case of I'll just pop that in here as a sprite. I want it to have the same, so actually I am gonna, this might be quite a sort of roundabout way of doing it, but let's say we had Berserker in the scene. Why is it black? Lighting? Huh. Yeah, I guess lighting. Well, that's okay. So I basically want to unpack this prefab completely. I just want it to be the same. So prefab, unpack completely, so it's nothing to do with what it came from, and we're going to get rid of all of this, so we're just left with an object and a sprite. Object doesn't need anything at all on it. Pool handler, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, we're going to use pools for this because we're going to be, because that's how you're supposed to do it. And we're going to set the, and we're going to call this crumble. We'll call this crumble sprite renderer. And we'll get rid of everything on it. Keep the animator. Don't need any of this stuff. Controller will be a new one. Create an animation. Crumble. And yeah, lovely, tidy. Now we can put it in here. Crumble. Okay, yeah. And then, and it's only going to have one animation. Entry into crumble. This one doesn't loop. Return to pool after, let's say 0.5 seconds. This confusing. This should be our crumble. And can we see, yeah, unlit draw mode for now. And here's our animation. So it's quite a simple then we could extend the amount of frames between each image, but yeah, that's good enough. Okay. That will be a prefab in our effects. We'll tidy this one day. Get pooled object. Just copy this. Don't need to tell it to play an animation because it's just going to do that automatically. And then basically we want to kill the object. I guess we just do a return to pool. Yep. Is that how RTPA does it? It's just okay. Yeah. Yep. Make sure we remove it from the team. And then of course we need to set this somewhere. So for now it's GM. We could make like a separate thing that just stores this kind of thing. But we have like for effects. Yeah, let's put it here. Public object crumble. Oof. Game. I try to stay bad, I try to walk away and I crumble. When I try to hide it, it's clear. My world crumbles when you are not here. Right. And let's see if that works and await inevitable bugs. Because what it should do is like play that animation anytime it kind of is set active to true. Oh, and also we wanna just like create a few at start. So get yeah, new crumble, and then here where we make like a slash. We make a bunch of initialize object pool. We'll just pop it at the bottom here. Crumble. Damage splash container is fine. Okay. And we're going to make max units divided by, well, it's max units, it's fine. So adding a little bit more loading time, but not too much. And damage splash, I just want to check damage splash prefab. So when we make one, yeah, we don't actually have to tell it to animate again. Or do we? No, we don't, because it just animates on entry. So we don't have to call the animation. It should just happen. Alright. Great start to today, I think. Quite fun, just like watching my minions fight and then being like, I will revive the loser. Yeah. Being a necromancer is cool. It's one of those things where like, I wonder if like this should be like the starting character. Oh, hello. Okay, but hold on. But why would a goblin be doing this? Okay, yeah, so we're actually looking at place spawn animation because it's not active. Okay. So on spawn is being called, and this is the same. So yeah, on spawn is being called by my revive. Yeah. Yeah. On spawn is being called by the revive over here, but apparently it's not active yet. Why? When would it have been? It's on death, right? Wait. Is that part of the animation? No, I think it's return to pool. Return to pool turns it off. So return game object. So this is when it's dead. But Okay, I think that should just catch it. I mean, it shouldn't be like, it should be like, well, no, you can't revive something that isn't on the dead list, and it shouldn't be on the dead list until it's absolutely finished its like death animation, so it shouldn't have turned off. Get rid of this. Don't need this anymore. Trying to think if that would make anything, would make something revive that shouldn't be revived, but it's like, no, we're already checking that. I think it is just if things really happen on the same frame as each other. Okay, stoic mana, blocking, fine. Oh yeah, there's the crumble. Can I see you crumble, sir? You've been alive for a while. I think you're about due for a crumbling. No, any of you guys want to crumble? Yeah, crumbling. Yeah, there's some crumble. Okay, yeah, that's great, because it's just like really clear that it's not just disappearing for no reason. It's like, it's an intentional animation which just lets the player know, we know this is going to happen. This isn't a bug. This is like, it gives you, it allows you to rest assured that that this is intentional. That it's because your unit has expired. Yeah. Crumbling, crumbling. It's called the crumbling, crumbling. Crumbling, crumbling. It's called the crumbling. Okay, yeah, I mean, this all just appears that it's working as intended. So when a unit like randomly disappears, or when a unit disappears, when one of my revived guys disappears, it doesn't just look random and unintentional and buggy. It looks, you can just clearly see this is an intentional part of the game. My guy has expired. That's great. That's all I wanted for Christmas. Lovely. Okay. Now, what's next on the list? So should we not be able to heal a revived unit? We could put a bull on them, which is like revived. So we could say, this is yet another stat on a character, but we could say character has a bull called Undead. And would they get, like, they can't be targeted for a heal, but maybe they would get residual healing. The issue is, I would still like for them to be able to bend. I think, fuck it, you can heal an undead. You can heal an undead. It's fine. Nobody cares. Like, thematically it makes sense, but I don't really see any gameplay reason why you wouldn't be able to heal an undead. Healing is less valid on an undead because oh wow, big chunk of that's so satisfying. Healing is less valid on an undead because they're gonna crumble anyway, right? So why would you bother? God, and it's great, it means that I have access to the enemy's stuff. So I just chain lightning someone. Yeah. Yeah, so we've got a bunch of their fireball casters, I think. Or their chain lightning casters. Oh, and we just revived an orc, and he's bigger, and he has a club. At the moment, he still looks like a goblin, but we'll change that. That's so cool. And if they actually have the hats on them, I just think this is awesome. And it just makes me think, should this be the first character you play as in the game? Right? Like, let's just screw it. Let's give people the Necromancer straight away, because the Necromancer is really fun. Or at the very least, we ought to tease the existence of Necromancers. I think the AoE is already quite a little bit too big. But yeah, like straight away we got to be like, by the way, you can totally revive. You can revive units. I'm just picking random things. Performance. Oh yeah, we had a target update timeout. 4 of them. So that's a bit worrisome. And another one. But I don't see... I'm not noticing it in game. I'm not like, oh, my guys are taking way too long to find the next target. Oh, what? Okay, they've still... So as for buffs, they still got the background, like it's not... So a goblin undead, when it gets a buff, you can still see its ears. While that looks a bit funky, I think it's kind of cool. Like, it just like... I don't have a huge problem with it. I could fix it. But, like, it sort of makes sense, doesn't it? It's like a buff is, like, on your ghost, and we can just sort of see the ears of the goblins when they're buffed. Yeah, I'll probably just leave that for now. Target update timeout. Is there any particular reason, I wonder, that that's happening? I think it might just be having too many units. Well, we kind of want that. Like, the game isn't running terribly badly. Even though I'm running it from Unity, it's like, it's running fine. It would probably make sense to have undead like despawn even quicker. Have them crumble a bit quicker. Because if you're sort of reviving units, like, yeah, you should not expect them to last too long. Mana block is really good. I'm just getting loads of mana because my guys are blocking attacks. It's actually really, really good. Yeah, we've had a few of these. The thing is, I'm not seeing it in game. So, like, it's telling me, yeah, like, performance is going to suffer a bit because... performance is going to suffer a bit. But I think that's probably just because I've got so many units, and we kind of have to expect that this is going to happen. I mean, we could do all kinds of, like, random little things. Like, we could... yeah, it's just taking long for a frame to complete. So even the checking debuffs... Like, I've just got a massive, massive army. And that is... So, like, yeah, we could say that we're limited as to how many undead we can have at one time. Like, just, you know. Because, yeah, I have lots and lots and lots and lots of units in my army. I have... Whoa! Yeah, I have 300 units in my army, and that seems accurate from looking at it. And then like, so it's just like a bit too powerful, maybe. Yeah, I mean, there's just way too many units. How many does the enemy have? So I think it's just a matter of like toning that down. Don't select GM. Yeah. I mean, at least it isn't tanking the game. But yeah, like we're gonna see the odd instance of like it's gonna look like it's taking. I mean, I haven't noticed any of the target finding slowing down here. Units will just spawn and like take a minute to find their targets. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the undead is just taking it too far. And there's all sorts of further optimizations we could do. But I mean, actually, it's not terrible. Like I said, I'm not noticing it as far as gameplay. I'm feeling a little bit of, like, slightly wading through porridge, but that's actually fine. And I am running... I mean, it's not fine, but running it from the editor isn't going to help with that. My goodness. Yeah, but the even at level 1... I do have the AoE buff, but it's just a bit too powerful. But yeah, the buffs aren't ticking down quick enough. Like, fire, I'm on fire. And the buff just isn't ticking down quick enough. Because there's just... That's a performance issue. I mean... That's a lesser evil than the game slowing down. But yeah, the buffs just are not moving along. Do I need to... It feels like actually that's just completely given up. Like, buffs just aren't ticking down at all. That is a problem. Again, better than the game completely stuttering, but I think something might have gone wrong there. Because we have our timeout, so let's look at timeout. Is that not where it is? Okay, yeah, timeout. Update timeout. We'll just do the same thing. Because I wonder if it's like, yeah, if it's like freaking out a bit with that. So target timeout, let's go standard time, update timeout. Did I not just make this? What is it called? Update timer. Yeah, what's wrong? Why are you not auto-filling that update time? Oh, it's because of this bloody thing. Minus equals time dot delta time. And then if update timeout is less than 0, stop coroutine. Update characters, start coroutine, update characters, and character, update timeout, update timeout. So we're going to just give that the same treatment, and then we can monitor it and we can see like what is the issue here. Why is this taking so long? Why is it taking more than 3 frames? Because it seems like it's completely paused. It seems like it's completely paused. Like it has just shat the bed. It's not there anymore. Jesus Christ. It's way too strong. Reviving is way too strong. Okay, yeah, we can see a few units there who have just not found their targets, but they've got debuffs on them which are just not expiring. Okay, yeah, we managed to tick down a second here. But just because there's so much going on, that like because what I have is like I wait to the end of the frame before moving on, before updating each character's target, and if a frame is taking a long time, then they just never do it, and that's just because we just have way too many units. But the thing is, I would like this to be possible. Oh god, yeah, that is slow. I would like this to be possible. I want to have armies where you just have absurd amounts of units. Look at that. Jesus Christ. A lot of that's going to be physics. So for one thing, I've noticed that physics shits the bed a little bit if characters are too slow. Undead. Deeper. Speed X. No. Attack speed X. No, let's literally just do health. Whew. Yeah, I mean, this is just... I'd like this many units to be possible. But it's just, like... If we have this many units, the game is going to shit the bed a little bit. Look at that. Just way too many. Way too many units. Like, absolutely ridiculous. It's cool. I remember this happening in, like, back in the day playing Warcraft 3 and stuff like that, and this would happen occasionally when there were just too many units on screen, and I thought it was brilliant. There's a number of things we can do so basically what we're here at is like, yeah, reviving is too powerful because I've just got this like army that is just ridiculously large. And it's too strong, and it's also going to really push the limits of the game, so I need to make some kind of limit to how many units you can revive, that kind of thing. But there are also tons of optimization things I can do. Chief among them is using so when, yeah, I mean, people have been in the stream before, I'm going to be repeating myself, but when we do almost any attack, a magic attack that includes melee, we're using object pooling, but we're creating an AoE effect, which is like a collider that does stuff. I need to change that and instead use a overlap sphere. So do we have that? Overlap sphere. Yeah, I need to use an overlap sphere instead. And the other thing that I ought to do is group units into like cohorts, basically. So like basically I would need to create a script that's like every 10, 20, 30 seconds or so, we should grab a bunch of units that are nearby and on the same team and say, right, you're a squad now. And when we... And then like... so that squad, each of them won't be individually picking a target. The squad will pick a target, and then everyone will follow that target. Basically, that's the idea. How does that work for weapons? Because they'll have different weapons. We'll split it up by class as well. So if you're like for example, we've got a bunch of knights with shields here and swords. They would be a unit, and we would group them together, and they would all go and attack the same target, and basically run on the same logic. And basically every 10 seconds or so, we would like, okay, if one of them has strayed too far, okay, you don't have to be in the same team anymore. So I'm going to write that down. What do we call it? Group up similar units who are nearby to ease up on targeting. Because that's the idea, right? It's like, yeah, I just think that'll be very good. Group up similar units who are nearby to ease up on targeting optimization, to optimize targeting. And then would that work for buffs? No, the buffs will just have to carry on as they are. But if we can make a frame finish quicker, then that'll be less of an issue. And like the more we can do to optimize, because as you can see at the moment, target update timeout, and probably the rate at which buffs are calculated and depleted is pretty damn high. Like it's pretty damn slow. And optimizing the game will improve that. So change AoE effect from using these colliders to using overlap spheres, and group up similar units who are nearby to target, to optimize targeting. So kind of like how so you know, I mean we're pretty high level of like getting large amounts of units to do complicated stuff. Like it would be very easy if they were all just attacking the same target. But then you look at so Warcraft 3, games like that, notoriously are just like that you don't get that many units. There's not that many units that can appear on screen. You have like the food limit, which limits how many units you can have. And then you've got like Total War, where units come in groups and you don't have like they're not independent. They kind of follow their captain, you know, they follow their little their squad. And then I think more advanced games like They Are Billions, I think are probably using something similar to what I'm thinking of, which is to basically group up nearby units and get them to follow the same target. So instead of 300 entities picking a target out of another 300 entities every second, or every 3 seconds, we are grouping up those entities, so it will be 10 of those targeting decisions will be made each time. And then maybe, yeah, they would target other groups. But we're getting into some pretty... like, this is good. This is not going to be easy. I'm going to have to fully engage brain to make this happen, but you know, we can do it. We can do it. I'm confident that we can make this happen. So where does that leave us for today? I'm going to assign all the undead sprites off stream. We still haven't got to the point where I need to return to using lists of targets. So I'm just going to like sort out my to-do list a bit. Skeletons, yeah, I did that. So yeah, re-up demo at some point. And then program weapons. Yeah, we did that. We did that. That works. Beautiful. So there are no like funky new bits of code I have to write for new weapons. That's fantastic news. Unholy artifacts, fill hero roster. So this is new content. This is adding new stuff to the game. Combo achievements is just, yeah, change the name. Basically, I kind of want to change the name once the game is done. And then, yeah, just some YouTube scripts there. Something I should be doing as well. Making more YouTube videos, but prefer to work on the game when I can. So before I add new content, it does make sense to do optimization. Yeah, layer masks on colliders. That should be a thing. So like when I'm creating these AoE, these sphere overlap spheres, that they can use a layer mask, and I just need to like put characters colliders on that, because we don't want it to be like, oh, an AoE effect finds another AoE effect. Oh, but don't do it unless it's a character. No, just ignore other AoE effects, only attack characters if that's your intended thing. So sort layer masks, change AoE. This is going to be a big one that's going to like break the game, but improve it drastically. And then some other small bits, and then group up similar units who are nearby to optimize targeting. That is going to be insane. But I reckon I could do it. Give me a couple days. It's like, yeah, there'll be groups, targeting groups, which will be little lists. No, it will be more than a list. It will be like a list and a target. And then it will be like, for each thing in my list of units, go and get that target. Rather than each of you like this, you know. So I'm a group. I will find a list of characters. I will find a target, and then I'll give that target to all of my units, rather than each of my units finding a target themselves. Yeah, and assign all undead sprites. I can do that today off stream. So I probably won't see you again today. We'll see. If I do another stream, I'll let you know. But I think I need to, yeah, think carefully about this. I'll do some exercise, look after my kids a bit, and maybe sort out the house. My desk needs cleaning. So yeah, I'll let you know if I'm doing another stream. If I am, then it will be probably tomorrow. But yeah, I'll try and set that up more than 2 minutes before the event, like today. All right, thank you very much for joining. Thanks for watching after the fact. Really appreciate all the support, and yeah, have a good evening or have a good afternoon. Thank you. Bye.